Let's talk about money and how we can make more money, right? And I know that's something that we are all quite excited about as Black South Africans in terms of building and creating wealth. But just yesterday, we had a conversation with one of the leading investment platforms, Easy Equities, and its CEO, and they had explained to us that the demographic for majority of their audience is Black, in their early 30s, largely male, but seeing a strong number of female contenders come on board too. And this really tells us something about ourselves, right? That we're looking for opportunities to trade, to invest, and to increase our wealth for ourselves and future generations. But when it comes to trading and trading platforms, we need to be very clear about where we're trading, who we're trading with, and making sure that essentially we're not being taken for a ride. So to help us understand a little bit more about this is someone who is the founder of a trading platform himself, CMTrading, Daniel Kibel, who gives us some insight in terms of understanding the nitty-gritties of making sure you don't get your money lost on systems that you're not even aware of. Daniel, a great pleasure to have you with us, and thank you for making time.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening.
I must tell you, we're quite excited to speak to you and aware that the line and technology hopefully will not fail us. I do understand that you're calling us from quite a distance away, so we're grateful that you've been able to make time. But I think, Daniel, let's start off firstly by demystifying what trading and investing actually is, so that we actually have a clear understanding of what it is that one is doing when using these particular online tools.
Okay, I think I understand that from what you said before, you spoke to the CEO of Easy Equities just yesterday. One of the things that we're seeing at CMTrading, just if you'll allow me to say, is not only that the vast majority of our clients are Black within South Africa, but unlike most other countries, women make up a very significant percentage of those who are investing.
Wow.
So very, very much so. Africa is is quite a unique continent, South Africa specifically, where people, and this goes back to your question, is people want to invest because they want a better future. And in Africa, more often than not, it's the women who are leading the way. And so it's very much an industry in an area where investment is coming from men and women as well. And I think that's an important point to make. It's not just men.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Hey, I'm all about more women getting involved in the economy, Daniel. But let's talk about it, because whether I'm a man or a woman, when I'm intrigued in terms of trading, I have a little bit of an understanding of how shares or equities work, or the investment asset class that I look to trade in. What are the fundamentals we need to be clear on before opening up an account, throwing money in there, and not knowing why your money is not growing?
Okay, I think the most important thing is to go. It doesn't matter who you go with. If you go with CMTrading or you go with another company, you have to go with a regulated company, or a company that is regulated under the FSCA. So if you go to the you're not sure, you go to the FSCA website, have a look at the company that you're speaking to. Because unfortunately, there are numerous people out there making promises, and they don't really need to keep those promises if they're not regulated in South Africa. So CMTrading is regulated in South Africa. Other companies are regulated in South Africa. The number one most important thing for yourself to protect your money and to protect your investment is to only go with a regulated entity. That's number one. Number two, don't listen to the guys who are making promises. Give me your money, I'll make you 20% a month, 40% a month, whatever it is. If they could make that sort of money, they wouldn't need your money. That's very, very important to people. So as a starting basis, you're interested in investing, you want to get yourself a brighter future, you've decided you're going with CMTrading or whoever else it might be, you've looked online and checked that they're regulated. And now it's up to you to invest your money. And the question is, what do you decide to do? How do you invest? And that's when I think education comes into it. Nothing beats understanding what you're doing. So you look online, you can go to the CMTrading website. We've got numerous videos there explaining, giving people the basis of how to invest. And then there are numerous courses all over the country that are being offered by experts in the financial industry who can teach you, whether it be a course of 2 days, 2 months, or 2 years, at least you have a basic understanding of how things work. And then you can just jump in and go ahead, and hopefully you'll make some money out of it.
I'm glad you mentioned the education, because one does definitely need to understand what it is that they're investing in, and knowing that essentially you're taking a bet, an educated one, but it's a bet nonetheless. So you could risk losing some of your capital or not making as much return on any of the investments that you might make. How does this actually remind us again in terms of managing our emotions? And I say this because we know that when it comes to trading,
that's the
fear and greed, right?
That's the ultimate question, in which it's the $1 million question, if you like, or the $1 million or the $1 billion question. First and foremost, controlling your emotions. If you're going into a trade, you've got to say, I've gone into this trade for a reason, and absolutely I should stay into this trade. Okay? There's a reason I've gone into this trade, and leave it. You can put in limits. You don't have to put in limits. But there's a way of doing things. Trading is, by definition, the online trading is, by definition, high risk. In other words, there is high potential rewards, very high potential rewards, but theoretically you could lose a lot of money, and people need to be aware of that. The most important thing people need to understand is there's no guarantees in life. When you invest, you're investing for a better future. You've gone to CMTrading, you've deposited at CMTrading, but now you want to invest. You need to understand that the higher the potential gain, but the opposite side of that coin is, the higher the risk is. So you need to make a decision. You want to make money, you want to make a lot of money. Okay, I understand that. Therefore, I need to make sure that I understand that there's risk involved. As long as I'm aware of the risk that is involved, as long as I'm aware of the risk involved when I'm going for higher risk trades, then I'm going to be okay. On the other hand, if you don't want high risk, then you need to talk about how you're going to do it and what you're going to do. I can only talk about CMTrading. I can't talk about other companies. But at CMTrading, every client's got their own trading specialist who can help them along the way, give them information, explain to them about the level of risk they're taking, explain to them about the trade size, explain to them about, listen, Bitcoin's gone mad. Bitcoin has gone crazy. It's exceptionally high risk. If you want something more stable, you might look at the euro against the dollar, or you might want to look at the NASDAQ. All of these kind of, it's up to you, but if you understand what you're getting yourself involved in, you understand where you're going.
Fantastic. Such an important note to leave it on. If you understand what you're getting yourself involved in, you will understand where you're going. Daniel, a great pleasure having you with us this evening, and thank you so much for making the time. He's the founder of CMTrading. That's Daniel Kibel, giving us an understanding as to making sure that if you are one of those South Africans who's very keen on trading, learning more about it, do so responsibly. Make sure that the entity is actually registered with the FSCA. That's the Financial Services Conduct Authority in South Africa. Essentially, they're the policeman and the regulator who makes sure that should you lose your money, there is some kind of recourse for you and you can follow up with the institution. And of course, only invest in what you understand. If you don't know how it grows, how it makes you more money, or how you lose your money, share pants. Yeah.